Body is a natural phenomenon of nature that just happens by itself, and then we identify with it. Tomorrow, I'll go into a bit more detail about like a whole a systematic meditation that we can do. But essentially, as our bodies are made up of elements, even intellectually, we can kind of grasp that. You know, our bodies are made up of the various elements that usually come in through our mouths, what we eat, you know, which then comes from the earth and the air and other elements, and gradually gets transformed into these muscles and bones and blood and all of that. And then what we don't use gets kicked out the other end. And then gradually we accumulate, as we start off just needing a little elements. When we get older, gradually we keep accumulating elements until we're full size. And then sometimes we keep accumulating more elements until we're beyond full size. And then we live long enough, we start to shrink again and get small. And then by the end, all the elements go one way or the other, back into the earth. Or if we're cremated, then a lot of it disperses and then goes back into the earth or water or wherever our ashes end up. So that's basically it. That's our physical life. It would be easy if we didn't identify with it. If we identify with it, then it feels very much like, no, I want my elements to be a particular way. I want my elements to look a particular way. Or even I want my elements. Who says they're my elements? They're not my elements. They're just elements. Even within one day, you know, we are taking in new elements from the surrounding environment, excreting old elements, drinking water, sweating and evaporating, drinking tea, peeing it out. It's the essence of life. Drink tea, you pee. Drink tea, you pee. Drink tea and you pee. And then you die. It's my haiku. So it is interesting to experiment. You can say basically we're working with perceptions of ourself, and trying to gradually modify those perceptions so they become more in line with the truth of nature. So you can check, like even if you, let's say you drink a lot of water and then you pee, how long do you still identify with that pee? Right? I mean, even if you peed, that's still my pee. You know, like if you have to give a sample to the doctor, it's like, yeah, this is my pee. It's got my name on it. It's got my personal DNA in it. Even if you just pee in the ground, it's like, yeah, that's. Someone says, "Whose is this?" This is my pee. But how long do you identify? You know, it's like if after a while you're like, well, it's not mine anymore. It's just kind of washed away. Even with breathing, every breath we're taking in how many, like millions of molecules, breathing out millions of molecules all the time. Constant interchange between this body and a surrounding environment, constantly taking it in, giving it back, constant change, just a flow of change. That's just the way it is. But then if we think, oh, this is my body, these are my elements, and then you think, I like these elements the way they are at a particular age, or I like these elements the way they look at certain times, but not other times. Well, I like these elements when I perceive myself to be a particular age. And once I no longer perceive myself to be a particular age or a particular way that we want to look, then I think, oh, I don't like these elements anymore. So that's how we fall into traps. If identification with our bodies had no drawbacks, it wouldn't really be a problem. But as soon as we identify with our bodies, then we want it to be the way we want it, right? We want it to be free of pain. No one likes discomfort. It's just physical sensations, but not many people really like it. It's still unpleasant. Even if you're a masochist, it's still unpleasant sensation. And so we want our bodies to be pain-free, but that's impossible. Can't go through life and have no physical pain. We'd like our bodies to be healthy and strong and vibrant. And they are sometimes, and then often when they are, we take it for granted, and then when they're not, then we miss it. I wish it was, and feel it's wrong. Oh, I'm not healthy and vibrant anymore. This is wrong, or it's bad. And then we suffer, and that's the drawback. If we identify with our bodies when they're not the way we want it to be. We may want these elements to live with this particular consciousness for a certain number of years, but it's very much out of our control. You can assist it by looking after these elements. It's not like, it's not like we just, if we don't identify with these elements, it's not like we just neglect them. We still have to take responsibility for these elements. Eat healthy food, put sunscreen on, wash it occasionally. Basic. It's like if you have, like Ajahn Chandako was saying, when we're young, it's like we have a whole new set of dishes. Gradually over the years, the dishes get a bit scratched and chipped, and that eventually the cups and plates are going to get broken. But while you have the dishes, they're still very useful, right? So you wash them, look after them, try to treat them carefully, look after them with mindfulness so they don't break before their time, right? If you look after these elements with mindfulness, then they'll last a long time. If you look after a cup with mindfulness, it will last a long time. You can still do that and know that ultimately this is not mine, this is not who I am, it's not going to last forever, it's going to gradually deteriorate and then eventually break. But in the meantime, we try to look after it well. Eat healthy foods and just the right amount. Get enough sleep. Not too much, just the right amount. Then in the end, you just have to let go one way or the other. And then what happens? we'll wait and see. After we let go of these elements, we'll see what happens after that. And that's just the body. That's the easy part. The hard part is when we get attached to the mind.